Hello everybody and welcome back to the Guiseley save, the Youth Academy only save, and it's the start of season 12, believe it or not, and it's been an interesting off season. A lot has happened. We're still struggling financially, but we've eased some of the burden by selling a couple of players. So let's dive into it, straight into the transfers. Let's go and have a look. So first off, looking at the release players, I'll budge myself over to the other side of the screen. Yes, we have lots of players out, and some players that are pretty well known in the save as well. Victor Havetzi, the goalkeeper, leaves. He has joined Sodoskar back in Hungary, and yeah, he drifted off, didn't he? He had well, he was never really our first choice thinking about it. I thought he was our first choice at some point, but no, he wasn't. He made it to the National League. A couple of appearances here and there, didn't do too much for us. But Victor Havetzi's left. Danai McFadden has left. He's gone. He's still a free agent. He's had a couple of trials in places, but 16 appearances last season for us, 6.45 wasn't good enough, so he's gone out as well. Ricardo Gumedi, he's found. I think he's got people wanted in him. Again, he looked like he was going to do well and burst on the scene, but wouldn't sign a new contract at a good value, and when he did play last year was pretty poor. So again, we've booted him out. He's gone. Ricardo Gumedi's gone. Alan Maloney was a kind of highly rated fullback, but then didn't really amount to anything, so he's gone as well. Lots in him. Ronaldo Howell, who was one that we were like could be pretty good, wasn't any good. Never broke into the first team, has joined Chorley in the National League and is playing in their under-18s, but he was a youngster. I didn't want to give him a full-time contract knowing what our financial situation was, so we let him go. He's joined someone else. Ryan Amarell, remember how highly rated he was coming through the system. Never really played brilliantly for us. 10 appearances there, 6.69. Went on loan to the National League North and didn't play very well either. And I thought, I don't think he's worth a contract, so we didn't give him one. He has been picked up by Crew, so we'll be able to see if he does develop. Again, went on loan to the National League North, 15 appearances, 6.49, really didn't cut it. And I thought I'd rather give other youngsters at the team a go than giving out these big contracts. Callum Powell has gone, the Aussie, or was he an Aussie? Yeah, he's the Aussie, isn't he? He's not New Zealand, that's Australia. Yeah, so he's gone. He's now playing for Sydney Olympic FC back in Australia. 40 appearances on loan at the National League North Kings Lynn Town. 0 goals, 5 assists, a 6.86, but was never going to get into our team and break into it with his attributes that he's got. So he's gone. Zach Mountford, another Australian, he's gone and joined Lions FC back in Australia as well. He didn't really do anything for us. He's always been out on loan, performing reasonably well, but not enough to force his way into the team whenever he came back. Who else is here? We got Lorik Mateta was another one that I'd like to have given a chance, but again, I didn't think it was worth the value of a contract when he's not going to be breaking into our first team anytime soon. So Lorik Mateta's gone. This could be one I regret because of his professional nature, but he was never really progressing in terms of training. He was training well, but he was never progressing in terms of his attributes. So yeah, he has gone, even though he literally only just came through the youth team. I wanted to see a bit more, but he has gone. And then some other people in there as well that you may or may not recognise for first team appearances and stuff like that, but most of them didn't play too much for us. In terms of youth, yep, there's nothing in, nothing out. In terms of future transfers, there's nothing in, nothing out. Staff, we've lost Lawson Simpson. Well, we let him go because of physiotherapy. No, we bought him in. What am I on about? That's transfers in. Yeah, we've bought him in as a staff member. We've looked at release players. Free transfers, there is nothing. Loan deals, there is a lot going out, as you would imagine. So we've given Jerry Lester the chance to go and prove himself, to see what he can do with a bit more first team football. And so far, 7.4 after 2 games. He's proving to be pretty useful down in the National League South. Neil Kelly is a Irish youngster that we've sent out, or Northern Irish youngster I should say, again out on loan to Knock Breda to keep his progress going with some game time. He looks like he could be okay. I think crossing and dribbling is going to be a bit poor for what he wants to become. Nate Ampadu, who has been around the club for quite a long time. We've loaned him out to make sure he has a bit more first team football. Darlington are paying us quite a hefty sum for it as well, 7.5k for the loan fee. One appearance so far as a substitute, didn't really feature for us in the last 2 seasons he was at our club, so happy for him to go and get some first team football. Jez Hines has gone. He's gone on loan to Eastleigh. Again, not really getting much game time for us. In fact, not at all getting game time for us, but has got game time on loan. So he's got 1 more season to prove himself. Eastleigh are in the National League, so it's 1 league below where we are. If he can score goals and get some game time there, it'll all be pretty good. So that was Jez Hines. Jordan Tare, highly rated. Really bad personality. He's gone out on loan to see what he can do. He has gone to the National League North to play for Curzon Ashton. 2 appearances, 0 goals, or 6.25. So he needs to improve on the loan spell. We're being quite ruthless at the moment because of our finances. So that's what's going on. Carlos Hartley was actually one who was not too far off from a first team spot, but we've allowed him to go out on loan because we've got cover at right and left back with decent players. But I'm expecting him to do quite a bit for Maidstone in the National League South. A similar sort of season, maybe slightly better than what he did for Southport last year. But yeah, he's been getting game time out on loan, so hopefully that can happen again. Eddie Healy is another one who has high potential, but I didn't see him fitting into our team this year. So we've sent him out on loan to Sutton United. Hopefully he'll get some game time in the National League. But yeah, I think as our club reputation's gone up, it's been a little bit easier to sort of loan people out. Graham O'Brien was probably the biggest surprise when I've decided to loan him out. A high potential, 2-star current ability, did play for us a fair amount last year, 6.68, but I wanted him to go and get that game time because we're giving our central midfield spots to Hanif Bertrand, Danny Adams and Lewis Salt generally. So if he can go and get some good game time at Nantwich Town and improve on what he needs to, that would be very useful. Rocco Trineri, again, was on the verge of breaking into the first team, but wasn't going to be a first team player. So we've loaned him out to Yeovil. He's got 1 appearance with an average rating of a 7, so he got a 7 in that game. And they're paying us a bit of a fee, so I think getting him some game time could be really useful. And the last one is Steve Bonner. So Steve Bonner has gone out on loan to Gateshead. He's gone up towards Newcastle way. He's had 2 seasons out on loan at Radcliffe. First season didn't play much. Second season played loads, got a decent average rating in National League North. Has now stepped up to the National League to see if he can perform for Gateshead there. But yeah, Stephen Bonner looks like he could be pretty good. He's got a good personality at Fairly Professional as well. It's just going to see how he fits into our system and where we can potentially bring him in. Maybe a striker with finishing 11, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's all the loans that have gone out this year. Now we've got to go back in time to next year to get our first sale. So I don't know if we covered this. I can't remember if we covered this or not on the last episode. We may have done. But Brooklyn Christie has moved to Morecambe. He actually moved in the January transfer window. £65,000, potentially raising to a little bit more. They've bought him in. They're looking to loan him out straight away. I do think did he play for them? No, he's not played for them yet. So an interesting transfer, but they took a punt at £65,000 to potentially get him in. He was unhappy with us and wanted to move. So I thought getting any sort of cash for him was pretty good. Wasn't playing in the attacker role too much for us. So yeah, he moved on to Morecambe, but we may have touched on that one already because it was done in the January transfer window. Tell a lie, I've just looked at it. He's not. He was sold in the summer. The other out we had was sold in the January transfer window, which we may have already covered. He was sold in the summer to Morecambe at the end of last season as they stayed up with us in League 2. They decided to buy Brooklyn Christie. The other out we had was Tony Hogan, who I think we already discussed. I think we did discuss this one, where he moved to Bradford. They've ended up paying us £205,000 so far. It could go up to £275,000, but they have been relegated, and he didn't play very well for them last year. And he is now transfer listed for loan for £81,000 is all they want for him. So looks like we got a really, really good deal for him, which is good. I'm surprised they've not given him more of a chance because he was one of our best players. He was doing well, but they've obviously want to cash in. Maybe they've got financial issues now they've been relegated, but yeah, it didn't work out for Tony. And last but not least, it's actually quite a big hit for us. Georgios has left us. The Cypriot attacking midfielder has moved to Portsmouth in our league as well. They've paid £95,000 for him. He's not played for them just yet, but I think he could do pretty well. I think when we play up against him, we're just going to go really hard tackling on him because he hasn't got the strength or anything like that. But he was really good for us. A 6.97 the season he came back off his loan. 5 goals, 4 assists in 31, 3 player of the matches. I would have liked to keep him, but I think with how the finances were, we sort of had to cash in on it. So I think there was clauses. Yeah, it could potentially go up to 130k as well. We'll go and look at the clauses in a minute in that one. But yeah, Georgios moves. He has got the number 10 shirt at Portsmouth, which is good for him. But yeah, a little bit disappointing to lose him. But I think the value that we've got is good. 95k, potentially rising to 130k. If we look at clauses, then we have so Brooklyn Christie, we get 10k after another 5 league appearances, 10k after another 10 league appearances, 25% of profit if they sell him for more than 65k. We'll get 16.5k if they avoid relegation this year from League 2. Your board has negotiated a buyout for this of 10.65. Ooh, that is interesting. What is let's go season preview. Morecambe, oh, they're only just predicted to finish above the league. Okay, I think we may cash that out and get the 10 grand. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then Georgios, we've got in here. We've got to have a friendly against us next season. 20k to us after 5 league appearances. 25% of profit on his next transfer if they sell him for over 95k. We're going to be due 15k if Portsmouth get promoted from League 2. And we're going to be owed instalments of 5k each for January and July. So not too bad. And then Tony Hogan, 50k after another 9 international appearances. 25% of his next transfer fee will be owed to Guiseley, and will be due 15k if Bradford avoid relegation from the EFL League 1, which we know didn't happen because they're already back in League 2. So yeah, they're the clause we've got. Liam Nicholson was someone that got poached from our youth system, so we couldn't do anything about that, as is Jensen Barkway. I don't think either of them are really going to amount to very much, so I don't think we're going to be getting any money from those sorts of players. But that is an update in the transfers. Now, diving in to the competitions, well, Sky Bet League 2, we've won 1 game, we've played 1 game, won 1 game. We are sitting in 10th with 3 points. Lots of people on 3 points. But yeah, a good start to the season. Not too bad at all. Getting a win, it's always good to start with 3 points on the board. It was against Woking, 1-0. We won Cameron Thorpe scoring early on for us in that one, which was good. We also drew 0-0 with Nottingham Forest in the EFL Cup first round. Went through on penalties, which was awesome. I took some advice in the comments that said Ben Spence could be your cup goalkeeper for this year. He came in, played his first game for the club, his debut, got man of the match and saved a penalty, which was the deciding penalty. Absolutely superb. Really happy with that one. Friendlies went pretty well. We got good teams in for Money Cups, which is good. Money Please, Money Cup. Doncaster came for a friendly. We went to Redditch and then we hosted a few morale boosting ones. We played Bradford in a new system that we're trying out and lost narrowly 2-1 and then narrowly again 3-2. We played them twice because they put a friendly in and then they had to do a friendly because of the Tony Hogan deal. So yeah, that worked out for us because we had pretty big crowds and got a lot of money in, which is good. But today we're going to be taking on Rochdale in the league, and we're lining up in 2 different systems this season. We're going to try a home tactic, which is what you see on the screen right now, which is like this, the system we've been playing quite a lot, although we don't have double volantes. We do have a deep line playmaker in there on defend. And oh yeah, and I wanted just to change this, not that. We picked up a lot of yellow cards in pre-season, so I want to get rid of that. And our line was very, very susceptible, so we're just going to start like this and see how it plays. So that's how we're lining up as sort of a home game, be a bit more on the front foot, a bit more pressing. And then away, we're lining up in the formation that I've always struggled against. It's a 3-4-1-2. Every time we've played against this, it's been a right nightmare to break down. So that's what we're going to do away from home. Try and be tougher to break down, see what we can do and see if we can get the ball forward. And it should allow us to rotate our players to keep a bit more fitness in as well, which is good. Right, last thing to go through. Looking at the squad, you'll see if we just very quickly clear this squad, the squad size is smaller. It's not really small, but it's much smaller. We've still got to rotate. We've got to deal with injuries, suspensions, etc., etc., which is good. Most importantly, though, under 18s, we've really slimmed it down. Even if like that is everybody in our under 18s now, I think the lack of an under 21 team is really hurting us. This will give most of these players another year at the under 18s without the elder players who weren't good enough getting in their way. So we should get a lot more game time for the players that we want to develop, which I think is crucial in the under-18s, and we'll go from there and see how we get on. But anyway, let's go and play Rochdale in the league. It's our first league home game of the season, which is why we're back for this one, and we'll see how we get on. I think Rochdale are pretty good, to be honest. I think they've done a pretty good job. They finished 11th and 13th in Sky Bet League 2. Never been below Sky Bet League 2 in the timeline we can see. Got up to League 1, but back in League 2, sort of mid-table League 2 team. But they also did win their first game of the season 1-0 as well. So it's a battle of a 1-0 winners. I'll pick the team. We'll be back for kickoff. Okay, can we keep up our winning run in Season 12? Hopefully we can to the start of this season. Scott Lloyd will be in goal, Harry Jordan, Priestnall, Jones and Johnson at the back. Bertrand plays alongside Danny Adams in midfield. Stephen Harris on the right, Chris Fearon through the middle. Tarmy on the left and Cameron Thorpe is the lone striker for this one. On the bench, we've gone with Lewis Salt, Les Knight, Jimmy Curran, Tim Rocket, Liam Brown, Joe Moore and Savas Nicolau, who is now our sort of backup striker while Talon Alpress is injured. Liam Brown is someone you've probably not seen before, so we may have a quick look at him in terms of the central midfield. We're going to go, I'm not going to say revenge. I feel like that's a little, I do that all the time. I want to win every match. I want to win every single match, and then we'll do the pump fists and I have faith. So on the bench then, Liam Brown comes in. I want to just give him a bit of game time. I think there's some attributes in there that we can utilise. His passing's pretty decent, good decisions, really needs to up his concentration. He's brave, which is good, got good vision, so a bit of a playmaker with a little bit of ability is an idea. New Zealand international at under 23 level, so we'll have to see how that happens, but I just want to give him a little bit of a chance. He's not had too much of a chance. Went on loan to New Zealand, didn't do brilliantly, but this is he's got the first couple of months of the season to try and impress, and if not, we'll move him on or release him on a free or send him out on loan and bring up someone from the under-18s. That's how we're going to try and operate this season. So I'm expecting to see more players come in to the team, to be honest. Right, team talk is complete. Here we go then. It is Guiseley v Rochdale in EFL League 2. We're in the 4-2-3-1 that we've been using, I'd argue, for the majority of this whole save. They're lining up in the 3-4-1-2 that I absolutely hate and I've already been moaning about. We do have that as a backup if we get a lead towards the end of the game. It is a little bit more defensive and counter-attacking, but they're in 9th, we're in 10th, so, or 11th now, I think, but yeah, it should be good. We've got new kits as well. We'll get onto that after the game. We'll go and look at the new kits for our second season in League 2. But the game is underway. It's been a pretty boring opening 8 minutes with no shots at all. They're slightly having a bit more possession. It looks like Rochdale had the first chance. Tarmy tried to find Thorpe, couldn't make it work as they go long with a kick. Johnson just lets it hit the back of his head, and that's going to fall to McNamee, and it's 1-0 Rochdale. And I sort of feel like that's come from the ball just hitting Dominic Johnson on the back of the head, who is in at left back today. I don't quite know what he was doing. Maybe a lack of concentration. Not brilliant. Priestnall then gets out accelerated, and it's 1-0 Rochdale. They are absolutely dominating the XG, which is annoying. Garbett swings it in, headed away by Priestnall at the back post, but he's offside. He's definitely offside. Godwin is in, but it's offside, so that doesn't count. It looked pretty obvious. Yeah, very clear. Well done, linesman, for getting that decision right. I'm a little bit concerned with how we've started here. Let's take off hit early crosses. We haven't really got a tall player, so let's push our line up. We're getting... I don't really want to push our line up too much because we're getting... Let's just go for a slightly higher line. We do have Lloyd sweeper keepering behind us, so... Yeah, 1-0 down though. 25 minutes gone. It's not. We've not even had a shot yet. Oh, there we go. One shot, one on target, but it's a really low XG. We're starting to build a little bit more into the game. I think we're going to have to potentially change something as we go into the second half. Here's Garber on the wing side. Jordan for company. Ball in. McNamee off the post, and he was onside. That's a big, big chance for Rochdale. But they couldn't do anything with it. They are battering us in terms of XG. And judging by the highlights, they're absolutely battering us as well. So, what was that? What was that? Come on, we're into the playoffs last season. We should be up there again this season. Right, Cameron Thorpe, sit on the last man and be an advance forward. I'm even tempted just to make you a poacher now. You can't do a poacher as well. Right, Let's get a few more advanced balls there. A 6 for Johnson. I mean, he was at fault for the goal. It was terrible defending. We'll bring on Les Knight. Johnson did get the nod over Les Knight today, but we'll bring him on. Let's not go quickly over the top. We'll take that off. I still think we need to stick with all of this stuff because it's what we do well, all of that. Let's step up a little bit more, try and catch them offside, I guess. Tarmi not playing brilliantly, Thorpe not playing brilliantly. Neither is Jordan, so both fullbacks really not playing very well. But a few little tactical tweaks. Let's see if that makes a difference for us. It is only 1-0, which is good. We're not completely out of it and a long way away. Adams is there in off the underside of the bar. Come on. We moved him up into deep line playmaker support, which has pushed him higher up the pitch, and he does get a goal. Lovely stuff as Knight throwed it into Tarmi. Tarmi, on his weaker right foot, dinked it into the back post, and Adams, who's not known for his headed goals, has made it 1-1 straight after half-time. That is what we needed to get back into this game. An instant half-time response. Absolutely lovely, lovely stuff. Thorpe still not playing very well. Maybe it needs some aggression up there. Nikula is very, very aggressive, so let's bring him on. Savas Nikula is going to come on up front, pressing forward on attack. That's what he likes to do a little bit more than anything else. Harris not playing well. Tim Rocket, our little pocket rocket, is going to come on. Chris Fearon also not playing brilliant. We could push Rocket behind the striker. Not for now. We'll do Jordan off as well as our... Is that our final sub? No, it's 4. So we're going to have 1 sub left. It is on the hour mark, so it is about a good time for substitutes at the moment. But we're getting back into the game. We're creating a little bit more in this second half. We just need to keep the pressure up on them. Bertrand back to Jones. Knight comes forward with it. Up towards Nicola, who's beaten in the air. He does put in a decent tackle. But McNamee's got the wrong side of Priestnell again. And he's hit the post again. And that is the issue with our line trying to play a bit higher. It does work because Priestnell does do interceptions. But it can cost us sometimes. Well, that's a foul. McNamee, get him off. We're going to be a man advantage. We could try and utilise this advantage now and push our strikers up a little bit higher. Advanced forward, he's got good finishing. I'm just thinking, do we push these guys into central midfield? I don't think we do at the moment. They're going to naturally push up, but we might be able to just throw a few more people forward in this one as wing backs on attack. Get a few more numbers up there. Jones not playing brilliantly. Chris Fearon is not doing amazing. We've got Bertrand on a yellow, but he's playing okay. Yeah, we'll give Fearon a little bit longer, and if not, then we might shove Tarmi up front for his height and his heading ability to see if he can get some knockdowns. There's about 10 minutes to go. We've gone to a 4-2-4. I think Rochdale are just going to shut us down. They're going 3-4-1-1. So 5 minutes to go. Fearon hasn't improved. So Fearon off, Curran on. We'll put Tarmi up there. Target forward on attack. Just use your height, use your strength. Nicolo, I think, he can do a... He has got a little bit of pace behind him. He's got a little bit of pace. So let's make him an advance forward. And then let's go wide, I guess. Let's get the ball... Winger on attack, Rocket, winger on attack. They can both do that. Let's play really wide. And for the last few moments... Let's try and just get those crosses into the box, I reckon. Let's try and hit our wingers and hit Tarmi in the middle if we can. I don't think we're going to get a good enough chance as the time ticks down. We sort of went for it. We could have gone more attacking. I mean, looking at the XG, Rochdale should have battered us, but we did have the momentum at the end of the game. I will take a 1-1 draw. We're still unbeaten at the start of Season 12, so it's really not too bad. We didn't create enough. Possession was really poor. We may have to have a little bit more control of the ball now. I mean, we did really well last year. So maybe we should build on that and make a bit more of a slower play tactic. I'm not sure. I don't want to completely abandon what we did last year because obviously we got into the playoffs when we'd just been promoted. So it's a tough balancing act. But we do draw with Rochdale, which is good. Yeah, you are unlikely to sign Tooten because he's not on the loan list anymore. But we are into 7th, so we're up there. We're in the playoffs. We're 2 points off top after 2 games. I can't really complain that much. We do have Swindon Town next, who are top, but we will be back in December for our youth intake preview and where we have more of an understanding about how this season is going. In the AFL Cup second round, we've got Championship Blackburn. So we beat Championship Nottingham Forest. We get another big tie against Blackburn. The draws have not been very friendly to us, let's be honest. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. But for now, I'm out. Cheers.